Hello everyone, today I share a shocking secret. A Yong story is truly astonishing. Chu was awakened by his vibrating phone. His apprentice called to reveal a new clue about Yong. Yong is the only survivor of the fire. After hearing this, Chu immediately called Yan, apologizing for the miscommunication last night. This Yong is currently in your hospital. Chu had finished speaking. Yan hung up angrily without looking back and stormed into the ward, where Yong had just gotten up and walked to the mirror. Looking at his ruined face, Yong inadvertently caught the reflection of two police officers coming to talk to him in the mirror. Yan left with his head down. As the police pushed the door open, Yong was back on the bed, and they wanted to take a statement. As the only survivor of the fire, they were very curious about why Yong was found in an abandoned building. Yong recalled he didn't go there by himself, he was kidnapped. The officer asked, "What happened next?" Yong remembered waking up tied to a chair, where it seemed like two men were having a brawl right in front of him. One man was knocked to the ground while the other started pouring gasoline on him, and then the nightmare began. The officer said he was sorry. They needed to collect his fingerprints. When Yong extended his arms, he realized all his fingerprints were burned off, leaving the officer helplessly standing. Before leaving, he told Yong, "We've already notified your relatives. Your aunt will be here tomorrow." Yong swapped shifts with his colleagues, and in the still of the night, he pushed open the door with a scalpel in hand, only to find Yong missing. Suddenly, Yong appeared behind him, and Yong turned around to ask, "Why do you keep popping up?" Yong just laughed. "It's been 20 years since we last met, has it?" He said as he sat on the bed, patting the space beside him for Yong to join. "I have something important to say. You better listen closely." Yong, "I can't change your lottery. Get ready for some surprises." Yong completed discharge in the morning. Yong asked his colleague why. His colleague explained. "Mr. Yong dislikes hospital smells," he said, so begged the director for discharge and a month's painkillers. Yong immediately jumped out of bed to chase him. Just as the elevator doors were closing, he pressed the button, and the doors opened again. Inside, Yong smiled and asked, "Hey, how did I open the door?" "Why? How would you know?" "How would I know? How would I know? Don't you remember me?" Yong looked puzzled. He invited Yong to come in for a chat as the front door slowly closed. Yong pulled down his mask, revealing a frightening face, getting closer, and Yong kept backing away, until he had nowhere to retreat. Yong said in a raspy voice, "If you don't have the guts to face me, it's best you pretend you don't know me." After saying this, he left the elevator, and multiple taxis sped towards Podju as the timeline rewinds to that night. Yong hurriedly drove away after dealing with the bodies of Shangzan and Sister Lang. He returned to the parking lot to switch cars with Shangzan's. At that time, Baishi was in contact with a client, who happened to be Shangzan's wife, and her sixth sense whispered. She guessed that Shangzan had a date tonight. Just after hanging up, two of his subordinates dashed into the office, and Baishi anxiously asked, "Did you catch anyone at the scene?" His apprentice gasped, "We caught some seriously scandalous stuff." Baishi chuckled as he bored the camera and stood rooted to the spot after glancing at the photos. Indeed, the impact of the content was quite substantial. Yong dialed Brother Long's phone, originally set for a payment at 8 p.m, but he was planning to double-cross Brother Long. Brother Long had no idea disaster was imminent. He had arranged for a getaway boat and had been waiting all day until sunset. Head to dock number 2, flip-flops in hand, about the money. I'm coming up to collect it, remember that. The boat won't wait, it can be late even by a minute. Don't worry, time's almost up. Just as he stepped outside, a white car immediately blocked his path. Inside, it was none other than Jan. What could possibly be the relationship between these two? Let's rewind the clock back 6 months. This was the morning of Jan's release from prison, while his cellmate Brother Long still had another month to serve. Before leaving, Jan handed Brother Long a phone number, hoping he would reach out for any future money-making opportunities. As Jan walked out of prison, Sister Lang was already waiting for him. The two had been friends since high school and jumped into the boy-busting business the day after one fateful night. Using Sister Lang as bait, they worked on generating leads. Jan was responsible for pinpointing clients' emotional vulnerabilities. While developing legal defenses, they were also crafting a replicable business model, constantly innovating on user acquisition techniques. To put it simply, it's known as catching the fish, a term for a setup scam. A month later, Sister Lang received an invitation from the client Shangzan, while Jan got a mysterious call. Brother Long asked, "Will you take a job worth 30 million? Jan left Sister Lang immediately and went. After outlining the project, Brother Long finished, and Jan chuckled, "Not a chance. Lives are priced. In this day and age, who buys a 200 million insurance policy? At least 500 million. Who's that heartless?" Brother Long pointed, saying, "That stupid guy over there." Jan turned and saw it was his junior Yong. Brother Long asked Jan, "Are you in or out?" Jan enthusiastically agreed. "Count me in. The fuel cars have too slow of a start. On the first attempt, I didn't manage to hit the swimmer's dad, so I backed up to try again." Brother Long stepped out to check, only to run into the swimmer's friend. Even worse, the swimmer's dad was still alive. The two had no choice but to stuff him in the trunk and drive off. Brother Long covered the swimmer's dad's mouth, trying to smother him, but Jun yelled from the driver's seat, "He can't die from suffocation." The insurance company isn't foolish. It doesn't just work that way. Alright, today's done. Until next time, subscribe, don't miss the big reveals.